Good evening and welcome to the Committee of the Whole meeting for the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Before I call the meeting to order, I have two proclamations to read. One, Wear Red Canada Day. Whereas heart disease is the #1 killer of women worldwide and the leading cause of premature death for Canadian women, a fact unknown to many women and their healthcare providers, and whereas the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance is an organization of volunteer health professionals and patients working hard to improve women's heart health, and whereas Wear Red Canada Day is celebrated annually to raise awareness for all Canadians, but especially Canadian women, to be mindful, curious, and proactive in the management of their heart health and wellness, and whereas we want to see better prevention, diagnosis, and care, and fewer women dying prematurely from heart disease, therefore I, Burke Pomeroy, Mayor of the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim February 13th, 2026, Wear Red Canada Day in Happy Valley-Goose Bay. Sign this here. Just for those who are tuning in, I think we all tried to wear red today. I think Todd found a gray gray shirt with a little bit of red under, so thank you.
He's colorblind.
Okay, the next one, Heritage Day Proclamation 2026. Whereas the third Monday in February is recognized nationally as Heritage Day, and whereas Heritage Day and Heritage Week are a time to reflect on the achievements of past generations and to accept responsibility for protecting our heritage, and whereas our citizens should be encouraged to celebrate Newfoundland and Labrador's uniqueness and to rejoice in our heritage, and whereas in 2026 the residents of Newfoundland and Labrador will celebrate our rich and diverse heritage, therefore I, Mayor Burke Pomeroy, on behalf of the Town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, do hereby proclaim Monday, February 16th, 2026 as Heritage Day, and February 16th to the 22nd, 2026 as Heritage Week, and call upon all citizens to celebrate the richness of our past and the promise of our future. Great. All right, thank you. So now we'll start the meeting and we'll move right into committees, and I'll ask the lead for Finance, Administration, and Policy, Councillor Rumbold, to provide an update from the committee, please.
Thank you, Mayor. In the Finance, Admin, and Policy Committee, Finance, Admin, and Policy Departments, this month we received our managers' reports. There was nothing of serious note to discuss, but we do have some requests for tax exemption, donations. There's some details regarding some surveys and some upcoming conferences that I'd like to discuss this evening. So our first item that we will be reviewing is
Mayor, before she goes to her recommendation, I need to declare a conflict in the first one, because I'm a board
Status of Women?
I'm a board member of the Mokwe Status of Women Council.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillor, continue.
Okay. So the first item that we have for discussion is that we've been approached by the executive director of a local not-for-profit regarding a property and business tax exemption. They had previously applied, but they didn't fit the criteria. Since the development of policy F0009, which is based on net income, not revenue, they were able to provide that information for us. So we have a set out criteria as has been outlined in that policy. Our considerations in this matter were, does the request follow policy F0009? In this case, all required documents have been provided, and the net income falls into the 100% tax relief category. They did miss the deadline of September 30th for the tax year of 2024. So at this point, with the briefing note and the information that has been provided to us, staff is recommending, management is recommending that we approve a 100% tax relief for property tax for the year 2024 for par ID 079571. The total amount there would be $9,784.51. So the majority of this being principal, $8362.80, and there has been accumulated interest since this is a 2024 property tax bill of $1,421.71. Management is also recommending in the same request that we deny tax relief on the water and sewer tax.
Did you put forward your recommendation?
I
we're
thought
not,
because it was committee
we're
of a
not
whole
voting
that
on
we were just
recommendations
discussing.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're.
There's no decision.
Am I good?
No decisions being made today.
Right, we're just discussing, right? Okay. So management is also recommending that we deny tax relief on the water and sewer tax for 2024, again for par ID 079571, in the amount of $5503.52, which is comprised of $46.64 principal and $839.52 interest. And the third suggestion from management is that management is recommending that we approve 100% tax relief for business tax for 2024 for par ID 0795710002 in the amount of $909.40. So this is $770.62 principal, $138.78 interest. I'm going to look to Mr. Malik, who is in chamber with us, just to confirm. So when I read this, I interpret that we have the recommendation to deny tax relief on water and sewer, as this is not a part of our F0009, correct?
I need to check that policy.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'll look at the CAO, I think you can confirm as well, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so with the first two, for our discussion is that with that policy, we can consider property tax relief, we can consider business tax relief, but every business, every resident, every not-for-profit, everybody contributes to water and sewer tax. And I'm gonna look at our CAO, was there a new name put to that? Is it not
Fee.
water and sewer tax, it's now water and sewer fee,
Fees,
correct? Okay, so that will help clarify on a go forward, because I think everybody, in the past, we referred to it as water and sewer tax. But now water and sewer is a fee, property tax, business tax. So that'll help differentiate. So I don't know if there's anybody has any questions. I feel like that was pretty straightforward.
One question. So I think there's 3 recommendations there. Will that be 3 separate recommendations? Okay, just wanted to clear that up. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything they wanted to discuss or clarify?
So this is for, just one question, this is 2024.
Yes. So they did miss the deadline,
Right.
and what we have said, and I think we've said it repeatedly, is that because F0009 was such a laborious process where it took us a long time. So we did have, and I think in this one it will say that they did apply in March of 2025. But at that time, we didn't even have this policy figured out. So we had people that we anticipated that they would revisit it once the policy was put in place. So hopefully now, coming on a go forward, we won't have any going back or looking backwards, because the policy is there, it's clear definitions, and I feel like our staff and now our residents have a full understanding of what the policy process is, how to apply, what the criteria are, and what is required.
Great.
Anything else?
I'm happy that the policy seems to be working. So far, when those that have applied have been successful in their applications, so you're right, it was a lot of work to put that policy in place, and it appears to be working, and we said we would review it after a year, but so far so good, so hopefully it continues
It's
to work
been
well.
good. So before I move on to my next item and invite the deputy mayor back, I would like to look at the phone and ask if Councillor Dyson or Councillor Williams had any input or any questions, anything regarding this.
No, I'm good with all that, Counselor Rumble.
Same for me, Councillor Rumble, all good.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to move on to my next item, and we'll get the deputy mayor to take her seat before I move on.
Okay.
Okay, so my next item is a donation request. And this one states, we have been approached by our local middle school, by an employee on behalf of the middle school, for a cash donation or in-kind services for the students who will be partaking in the Exposition Day Arts, Francophones, I'm butchering that, I'm sure, art show. So the contribution, any contribution would go towards consumable art supplies. They're looking for paints, canvases, brushes, etc., display materials for their gallery setup, and refreshments for their community open house event. This event is an educational journey that showcases cultural appreciation within Happy Valley-Goose Bay. No donations have been made in the past directly to this cause. I believe this may be a new initiative. Donations have been made in the past to the middle school for a different program, but not arts related. So our considerations, we're looking at whether this fits F0020, which is our donation policy. And when we're looking at that, this is based in Happy Valley-Goose Bay. It has a direct benefit to the residents of Happy Valley-Goose Bay, as we can see demonstrated in the fact that they'll be having a community open house. It is a not-for-profit, and they did not, at this time, provide any fundraising efforts or a total detailed cost of event. But, I mean, they have specified that any contribution that we make will go towards consumable art supplies. So staff has recommended, management has recommended that we approve a donation in the amount of $250 to the middle school for the art show for the French immersion program. And as of now, we did get a new, in our manager's reports, we have a clean slate with our budget, so there are no donations showing on our budget report at this time. So, anybody have any input, questions, feedback?
Good with me?
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
I'm good.
All good? Okay. So, because that one was so easy, I'll move on to my next item. And my next item is in regards to the accessibility plan survey analysis. So, open this up. Okay, so our community development manager, Margaret, has been working diligently on this accessibility plan survey analysis. And basically what she's done is she's compiled a summary for us. So the number of respondents and some of the key notes that were demonstrated in the demographics. 100% of the survey respondents were confirmed as Happy Valley-Goose Bay residents, and they just identified some of the accessibility issues ranging from physical, functional, cognitive, and more. No surprise to anybody, I'm sure. We had 40 plus responses regarding pedestrian infrastructure. There were concerns over parking and communication access. What Margaret has now identified is 5 priority areas for action, recommended focus areas based on the frequency, the severity, and the impact. And so by implementing this all into a nice, she's put it together in a fabulous presentation for us. But we've got a timeline that ranges from 0 to 6 months, items for immediate action, on up to 3 to 5 years. So the long-term actions. And the moving forward, and I guess this is what we wanted to include in having this item added to our agenda, is the immediate priorities, so that we establish a maintenance schedule with public reporting, and that we implement accessible parking enforcements, that we form an accessible advisory committee, and that we begin multi-year planning. So I think that this is something, hopefully everybody on council has had the opportunity to review it, and I guess I just want to, on behalf of council and the FAP, to just recognize the hard work that went into this. It is, and will always remain a little bit disappointing that we have low numbers in our survey respondents. But this happens to be something that is not just exclusive to an accessibility survey. We have seen in the past that we struggle to get public engagement sometimes. I think the people that did respond, we're very thankful for, because they would absolutely have demonstrated what we are lacking and what direction we need to go in. So I don't think there was any demand or need for a plan at this time. I'm going to look at the CAO, because this was item 3.3 on our agenda, but was it just to present it, or did we need to accept it? No, okay, just to present. Okay, so now that I've kind of summed it up, but does anybody have any feedback, questions, or input?
Where does it go from here? Plan. Do we bring that to Engineer Dillon so he can come up with what's listed here?
So council will need to discuss this more in depth before any
Yeah.
plans are put in place.
Okay.
So like a separate meeting specifically around accessibility? Okay.
Because this, I guess, would have to be a budgeted item to how we.
Yeah.
There's a
Deal
lot of
with our
budget on
infrastructure.
There would be
Based on the
financial
Yeah.
implications, so we'd have to have a
Sidewalks.
discussion.
Yeah.
Although some of it
Lighting.
can be put in place fairly quickly, like enforcement of misuse of disability parking, etc. So a discussion amongst council should happen like fairly soon, so that the committee, I
Is
guess.
setting priorities, because the priorities as set by council may or may not align with what came out in the
Yeah,
survey.
exactly.
So council will need to look at that, look at costs, look at planning, see what's short-term, what's long-term.
I think it was fair to say that this accessibility plan is long overdue, and, to do some enforcement around it would certainly benefit the community right
Yeah,
now.
we need to do a bit of communications around as well, get
Yeah.
some of the results back, or the findings back to the public, explaining exactly, what the study entailed, and so, yeah, I think there's a bit of work we need to do.
You can go to any business or anywhere around town, and you always see a vehicle parked in a blue parking lot that shouldn't be there, and
Yeah.
it needs to be enforced more, and, we need to discuss it further.
Okay.
Okay. Next one.
Okay, so if we're all good, my next item on the agenda is to discuss some upcoming symposiums, conferences, just upcoming events. So, as noted in the agenda, we have a Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador Symposium happening, but actually before I get to that one, I just want to highlight again regional meetings. So March 26th and 27th, here in Happy Valley-Goose Bay, we will be hosting the Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador regional meeting. And so by now, all of us should have had the opportunity to ensure that our registrations are in. If you haven't yet had the opportunity, I'm sure that somebody else would be happy to help you if you're having any challenges. But yeah, we look forward to hosting that regional meeting so that we can meet, as our opportunity to meet with our counterparts in Labrador. And I know I attended the last one, and it was it's very interesting to see how other people, other communities have maybe tried to mitigate some of the same challenges that we're experiencing, and just to share ideas. So that's going to be held here. The Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador Symposium will be happening May the 7th to 9th in Gander. And I believe we've already identified you'll be attending, Mayor?
I don't know if we've confirmed. I haven't registered yet, but I plan to.
Okay.
So I'm not sure who else has registered or not.
That's
Anybody
me.
online? Have either one of you guys registered for that conference?
That's the one.
No, not yet, I'm still waiting for a work schedule.
Okay, all right. We'll get that finalized this week of
Okay.
who's attending, so we can figure that amongst ourselves.
Okay, so we'll make sure that by Friday, I guess through email, we'll just,
And that would
make
require
sure
a
that
motion
we've
of council,
identified.
Wouldn't require a
I'm
motion
not
of
sure
council?
if registration is registration open for this one? they kind of gave us a heads up that's coming, and we do not need a motion of council for this one, because there's no voting.
Right.
Oh,
For the
okay.
AGM,
For the
we need a
AGM,
motion
we
of
do,
council,
yeah.
but at this one, I mean, you can send as few or as many as you like, but there's no, voting, so you don't need a motion of council.
Right.
Okay.
I was
So you
at
got a
last.
bit of time, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
urgent, get it done, it's just for bookings and travel and stuff,
Okay.
it blocks up fast.
Yeah, and actually, like you mentioned, you weren't sure if, it doesn't even say that on our sheet. It just says registration is open for the regional meeting, but it doesn't say when the dates are. So, yeah, we'll continue to follow up with that. Additionally, the same thing, we need to just put some consideration, have some conversations regarding municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador annual conference happening November 5th to the 7th. So that one will be held in St. John's. And I guess, you know, we try to rotate so that everybody gets a learning opportunity. And so we had Councillor Williams and Councillor Dyson and the mayor attend the last municipalities, Newfoundland and Labrador. So I guess this is your heads up to say, let's look at our work schedules, let's see who's available, and keeping in mind that, of course, anytime any of us travel for any of these council activities, what we do is we come back, we bring a report forward so that we're able to say to our colleagues, this is what I learned, this is what my takeaways were, and share the knowledge, for lack of a better word. The next item is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Annual Conference, which will be held June the 4th to the 7th. The same thing, we want to make sure that everybody checks their work calendars and looks to see. Also, I'm speaking specifically to my fellow councillors here. If you haven't signed up for Federation of Canadian Municipalities emails, you do need to make sure that you get the emails. So sometimes our inboxes are very full, but I myself used to, when I was a part of the 13th Council, I regularly got FCM emails. I hadn't been getting them, so I had to re-register. So you will notice that once you re-register, you'll get confirmed. They'll confirm your municipality and your role, and then you get the constant emails. So FCM has a lot of great information. CAO?
Everybody should be getting FCM emails, because when you got on
I
council,
wasn't.
we got your email addresses, I sent it out to them and said, sign them up.
Yeah, and I wasn't getting them. So just,
Yeah.
Any of you?
just
I get
last
mine.
month.
I get one.
You get yours,
Yeah.
Yeah, I get mine,
Well, I had to check.
and you get yours.
Yeah. pretty sure.
I get them.
Yeah, I'd have to
Okay.
double
Yeah.
check, but I haven't received any in a while.
So
No,
where's
I
this
wasn't
one?
getting any
Although
either, so,
they at least once a week, if not two or
No,
three times
no.
a week.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, so that's another one.
Was that one too, Councillor?
That one is in Edmonton,
Oh, gee.
and, yeah, it's, when I was on the 13th Council, I attended one, and I think they're very valuable. I was absolutely floored by the amount of information that was presented to us. And yeah, I would
That one is June.
say right now, I'd express my interest in attending that one again, if given the opportunity.
And that one, you do have to register yourselves, because there's a lot of personal questions that they ask and signups for various activities.
Yeah.
Dietary, mobility,
Hotels go in about 5 minutes for this
Yeah.
event, so once the hotel's open, if we don't know who's going yet, you're not going.
So
Yeah.
I think we should have a discussion on that afterwards as well.
okay?
And determine who's going, and so we can make those arrangements sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
And I find in those, at the FCM as well, a lot of the study tours, they tend to be booked fairly quickly,
Yeah,
and sometimes we have to pick, you know,
What you can't do.
some things that we'd like to do, but they're not available, so I
You
would
have to
encourage us.
register when registration opens.
Yeah,
like
very
you're
well.
sitting on your laptop,
So
yeah.
Take your study tours then, don't
it's not
wait
open
a-
yet.
Don't wait a few days, don't wait
No.
a
No,
week.
it's not
I
open
know,
yet, no.
and that's why it's important to get those FCM emails, so that you know as soon as things open, yeah.
Okay.
And Kathy was a great help as far as if you struggle figuring out how to get your, yeah.
Counselor, there's another one
Um,
that's not mentioned here.
Okay,
So that's the Urban Municipalities Conference taking place in Port aux Basques?
Port of Ass this time, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we normally send like a staff person to that as well?
When is that one?
That's April?
April, I think.
April
I haven't
9th
seen
and
a
10th, I
lot
think.
on it yet.
April 9th and 10th,
And this one, the spring one is usually focused on economic development,
yeah.
so we we try to send our economic development officer.
Yeah.
She's gone. And hopefully a council member as well, but we haven't heard from anybody on council yet.
I haven't
And
seen,
Mayor and Councillor Odell are the
oh, yes.
UNC reps.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I did see that then.
Yeah, there was emails that went out.
Yes, I did.
So we'll get all those strings straightened away sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
so we're not caught.
Absolutely. And I have one final item, and that is another donation request, this time at the high school level. So with this one, the briefing note states that we have been approached on behalf of the high school for a donation to the female volleyball team. All monies raised will be put towards travel fees to the volleyball tournament in St. John's, and that's held this month, February 27th and 28th. Our previous donations to the high school have been specific to scholarships and Safe Grad. We have never donated in past for student travel. They didn't specify a monetary value of what they were seeking. So what we need to consider is if this follows our policy F0020, and if we are looking under F0020, this is an event that is not based in Happy Valley-Goose Bay. They didn't specify what fundraising efforts have been undertaken. Is this considered a not-for-profit or charitable organization? And if the event receives a travel subsidy from the provincial government. So at this time, just following the guidelines of F0020, management recommends that we deny the donation to the high school volleyball team, as our student travel policy was abolished, and this would be something that would align more with that policy, as it is, you know, again, it's not taking part in our community, and it's for travel to an event held outside.
I'll just
So-
clarify one thing.
Sure.
That they have received donations in the past. Previous councils have approved donations for the travel. And I don't agree with that student policy travel that was abolished, not at all. Because these groups of people are youth who are the youth are the ones that don't have access to any type of donations for whether school events or minor hockey or minor soccer or whatever. But we donated many times in the past to these different groups.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and I look at it this way, that when you have whether it's a volleyball team or a group that's going out, they are representing our community. And, you know, I have no issue in supporting groups like that represent our community. They're not out there, while they're there as part of the school, I'm sure they're all out there representing our community, so, anyway.
Well,
So-
in saying that, we're gonna need to develop a policy regarding criteria. Right, is this a provincial championship, is this an invitational tournament or something like that? I mean, this is where we, like I said, we need to develop a policy around it, so that we can check off the boxes, yes, they do,
Yeah.
just as any other policy with regards to where we spend our money.
And again, with regards to large teams like this, going on tournaments and its travel, again, nothing with regards to supporting, and I have no issue with supporting a team, but if you get multiple teams, which we have multiple teams that travel for tournaments here, and with our donation budget, basically, what is it that we're giving that makes any substantial difference? And we can say, well, $200, anything is great, but when you're talking about a team of 10 or 12 and coaches and whatnot and so forth, there's only so much that the community or this council can give. So basically, we need to prioritize what ranks up here compared to down here. So, and that's another key consideration with the amount of money that we have available to donate and who gets, the pick of that pot. And does this warrant that as well?
So this is something that will be brought forward at our council meeting, and so right now this is great because it's starting the dialogue. I will mention that this revision date, if you're looking at F0020, this revision date was December 15th, 2020. So this would have been, at some point, the 12th council would have decided that they needed to revise the policy. At that point, when they revised it, what they specified in the criteria was that the criteria to be met by organizations requesting a donation, grant, or sponsorship from the town is as follows: be based within the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, or provide a direct benefit to the residents of Happy Valley Goose Bay, be a charitable or not-for-profit organization, demonstrated fundraising efforts, demonstrate the significance of the program, events, or service, provide the total detailed cost of the program, event, or service, illustrate the benefit to the community, not be the recipient of any other financial or other type of assistance from council, not be a federal or provincial government-funded initiative, and agree to acknowledge council's contribution in any publicity relating to the program. So really, truly looking at this, if this was done in 2020, yeah, this is 2026. The time has come to sit down and revisit, absolutely, so that we can, it's just that at this point in time, what we will have to work with when we get into our public council meeting is, does this request fit the criteria of the policy that is in place today, F0020. So, again, I'm completely open to revisiting any policies, but we have a short window here. So, you know, I think that absolutely, if there are members that
When
think
is
that we need to
travel
change
again,
it,
Councillor?
at the end of February, so the
At the end of
26th and
February, so not
27th,
much
some
time,
odd.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, but this may be the catalyst that causes us to review and revise and change.
Thank you.
Ladies on the
CIO,
phone?
You got a comment?
I'd just like to point out that the briefing note is correct. The town has not donated to a sport team for Mealy Mountain Collegiate in the past.
Okay.
We have donated to sports teams, but not to
Not to the
Mealy
school
Mountain
teams.
sports teams.
Okay.
No,
So the briefing note is
I'm gonna
correct.
disagree with you on that.
I just looked it up in our system.
So it might have been donated to individual students, correct?
It could have been to a
Yeah,
student
but not
to
to
do
the
something,
school
like
team.
a
Okay.
student could have been a Mealy Mountain High School student who was
Right.
traveling for hockey, who happened to get travel, but it wasn't through the school.
How many years did you go back? Just curious.
2013.
Because I'm
so far
talking
back our
about like
system goes.
11, 12 council, 13, right?
Yeah, well, it just, the
11,
whole
12.
history of it is in there.
So it's just an individual and not a team, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't donated to the school for a team sport travel.
Okay, so we can have further discussion on that.
Absolutely.
I think we need to revisit
Yes,
that
yeah.
policy.
And
Because
before,
things do change over time, so.
yeah, before I move on, so I'll just look to the telephone again, to Councillor Dyson or Councillor Williams. Do either of you have anything that you'd like to add before we move on to the next reports?
Nothing from me, Councillor Rumbold, but I do remember, as Nadine just alluded to, that there were a lot of specific requests coming from specific students from Mealy Mountain for traveling, but I can't recall any requests coming directly from Mealy Mountain Collegiate itself. I think it was all done by the teams or the students, the athletes.
Just one more point on that CAO. Would have been any teams outside of the school that requested
It
donation?
could have been.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the-
yeah.
Like the judo club has, and
Yeah.
hockey has.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So
you
that's
know,
probably what I'm
and
thinking.
Soccer has,
Yeah.
but not,
Yes.
not the
Yeah,
school.
I remember we done a AAA hockey when we, I think it was Labrador Huskies, and we sponsored 11 of the 12, or 11 of the 24, because they were from Goose Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember doing that, but nothing
Yeah.
specifically from
Yes.
Mealy Mountain teams.
It's probably, I'm probably thinking of teams out in the community and not within the school.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Councillor Williams, anything from you before I pass it over to community planning?
No, all good for me, thank you.
Thanks. Okay,
Great.
so that's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Dyson is on the line, but I'm not sure, I believe Councillor Odell is going to provide an update from that department.
Yes.
Councillor Odell?
Well, I can do it if my reception is good, if everybody can hear me, I don't mind.
We can hear you well, yeah?
Yep, you can go ahead if you want to, or I can do it, your choice.
Okay, I'll just chat about it, and if you lose connection, or if you have problems hearing me, then I'll get Councillor Odell to take over. There was just a couple of things I wanted to kind of point out. I was, you know, Councillor Rumbold covered the information on the accessibility survey for sure. I know that the links that Margaret had sent, I don't think they're actually available to the public, or it could just be my connection on my iPad, which is kind of obsolete. But anyway, the information is there. I think it's worth noting that the social media engagement has been has increased up over 20% from the previous month, and I think that's kind of worth noting, and I think the public would be interested in knowing that. Also as well, I know Margaret is going to be reaching out to the Association of Arctic Expedition Cruise Operators to look at something down the road with regards to that. I do have a couple of questions. Actually, Margaret cleared up another one. There was a discussion, some talk about some riders on the bus that weren't inputted into the system, and I think that might have been a glitch in the system as opposed to not being recorded, but I think that's being worked out. Always ongoing issues with the bus, but you know, we're still a work in progress there, so it's all good. It's all a learning curve, I guess. I'm kind of interested, before I bring the 3 recommendations that we have, I'm a little bit interested in knowing if there is any update or if there will be an update at the public council meeting from legal on the on what's happening with the dilapidated properties, and I don't know if our CAO can speak to that.
Not at this time.
Okay, and as well, I know we're still talking about the tourism tax, and that's ongoing as well. I think it's important that people know that there will be engagement with the communities and with the operators and with the businesses that are going to be we're going to have input from them. Other than that, I just have the 3 recommendations, so I can speak to them now if you like, unless anybody has anything else.
Nope,
Good
nothing here, Councillor.
Okay, good to go. So we do have, there are 3 Crown Lands applications. One is Crown Land application 165059, and it is for a piece of land that actually the town has plans for that piece of land. So the recommendation that will be coming forward at the public council meeting will be to deny that Crown application. That's one. The second application is for a home-based business that is a mobile tire and auto service. It was presented to the public, it was advertised, and there were no concerns or no objections brought forward. So I know staff is recommending that one be approved. And the third one is an application from the town of Happy Valley-Goose Bay itself to look at future acquiring Crown lands for future development for the town between Aspen Road and the airport. So that's the only 3 Crown lands applications that are on the table this month.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Anybody have any comments? I'll just make a note that we did receive a response from Newfoundland Labrador Hydro to be in your council package regarding our charging infrastructure. We've had some issues with the charging infrastructure at the Royal Inn. Hydro has advised that they are working to correct that, but in the meantime, the town is able to avail of Hydro's electric charger, which they have up on Burnwood. So that's just for the benefit of the town, I guess, because we made it a public issue that there was issues with the charging unit, which is the reason why we're unable to provide a bus service regularly throughout the day. So is there any updates on that, CAO?
Sorry, the one up on Burnwood is a different level charging station.
Oh, okay.
So they have that same, it's a level 2 charging station, which is also at the Royal Inn, which is similar to, same as the one that we basically have inside our building. So it's a slow charge.
Right, okay.
So that's why, like, it doesn't help us if we're slow charging in our building.
So it's not going to make any
Royal Inn
difference to us, no? Okay,
Correct.
all right.
And we've been advised that the technician will be on site tomorrow
Okay, good.
and fixing the repair now that the part has arrived, and we're hopeful that everything will go smoothly. We hopefully have an update to the public for Thursday.
Okay, so we'll have our bus back running regular hours again.
Hopefully so.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from anybody? No? Okay, we'll move on then to Protective Services and Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. There will be one recommendation coming forward to the public meeting, fire protection regulations. Just a standard to update the bylaw as we do with all bylaws to update. So I'll be bringing that forward to the public meeting. And it's in the package for everybody to review.
Okay, perfect. Is that it for you? Perfect. Okay, so we'll move on. Municipal Services, I'm not sure if there's no recommendations. Councillor Williams, if you want to have a few words to say about your Municipal Services Division or Department?
Absolutely. Can you hear me just as well as Councillor Dyson?
We can hear you, yeah.
Perfect. So like Councillor Dyson, I appreciate Councillor Rumbold's summary of the accessibility plan survey, as I believe that from municipal services lens, accessibility findings clearly where residents are feeling some gaps in infrastructure, and I'm sure we'll talk further about that. I had planned on getting into an update on the charger for the bus from Mr. Dillon, but this has already been addressed by our mayor and CAO. So thank you both for that. There's no recommendations for municipal services for this month. That's it for me.
All right, thank you, Councillor. Moving right along, Community Service and Recreation, Councillor Winters.
We have no recommendations either, but I'd just like to bring up, because it's happening before our full council meeting at the end of the month, is February 3rd to 15th. We have the mega hockey tournament happening at the arena. And on February 14th, we have the Labrador Winter Games Torch Relay at the Valley-Goose base stop, starting at Pike's Home Hardware at 3 p.m. on Saturday, the 14th, Valentine's Day.
Perfect.
That's everything for me.
All right, no comments?
Put an invite out for that, I guess.
So that concludes our committee of the whole for today, so, for this week, or this month, sorry. So I guess we'll motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.